Welcome to a Culture Course production where we help you attract the best talent and create a company culture where your team can thrive. This week's episode, work on the business, not in the business. How many times have we heard it? I did a Google search for that term, and the number of articles that came up were crazy. There are so many people writing about this, and really that's a struggle for so many of us small business owners. We don't necessarily trust people. We may have gotten wounded from trying to hire people before and they didn't work to their potential, or they quit, or we lost money, or you don't maybe trust people to do things as well as you do. So you are an owner and operator, not just an owner of a company. You're not a legitimate CEO. You literally are dependent upon the day-to-day tasks for everything within your business. And that's tough. Working in the business every day instead of on the business from a 30,000-foot view is not sustainable. And it really does prevent growth. So here was an article by Inc.com, and that says, work on your business, not in your business. What they're trying to talk about in this article, and the question that they're trying to answer, which is kind of the question that we have as business owners as we go through this, is who is ultimately responsible for taking your business to the next level? Okay, the answer to that question is simple. It's you, the owner, it's the manager, it's the executive team. They're ultimately responsible for taking the business to the next level. Then the next question is, who is the person or individual ultimately responsible for day-to-day tasks? Well, in my company, it's not me. It's not. I'm ultimately responsible for leading a team of people to accomplish those day-to-day tasks, but it's not up to me to accomplish those day-to-day tasks. And because I'm not doing those day-to-day tasks, I can be here in this studio and record this episode. This is stuff that I'm able to do. I'm able to do 30,000-foot view things, grow the company, and make an impact in other areas because I have a team of people doing the day-to-day stuff. Here's a quote from the article. As the leader of your business, you are responsible for spotting problems and delegating solutions. You are responsible for setting goals and thinking about the future. The only person in your company who will be genuinely motivated to grow your company is you. Every minute that you spend working on tasks that can be delegated is a minute that you are not planning, strategizing, and building the best business possible. This week's episode is brought to you by Culture Course, culturecourse.com. A student highlight this week is Nick Ayers, a friend of mine. I'm actually recording this episode in his Major Look Video Marketing studio. Nick Ayers took the course, and he is in one of those situations where he's working to get better at working in the business instead of on the business. And through Culture Course, he made his hire and found an amazing employee. He was able to attract some top talent by following these step-by-step processes that are in the hiring module of the Culture Course. He went to culturecourse.com. He purchased the course. He went through, took the hiring module, followed the steps, and within 31 days, he hired an amazing person. That's the promise that culturecourse.com provides to you. Within 31 days, you should be able to hire a great fit. So if you're looking to try and grow a team, to delegate this day-to-day stuff to, culturecourse.com, check it out, an online course that'll give you the step-by-step stuff that you need to make that happen. So here's the rebuttal that people are going to give. Listen, Grant, I just don't trust people. I cannot handle and hand off the day-to-day stuff to them because no one does it as good as me, or no one does it as well as I do. Well, that's probably true. And I've been there. One of the hardest things I ever did in my life is when I stopped originating mortgage loans and had a team of people doing it. They weren't doing it as good as I was. And candidly, this sounds arrogant, but I was really good at it. But here I am now, almost 6 years later, and they are way better at it than I ever was. And you want to know why? Because that's all they do. They just focus on that one thing, and they become a master of that craft. Whereas when I was doing it, I was doing the day-to-day task stuff. I was doing those sales, but I was also doing the IT work and the strategic planning and the business planning. I was also the janitor. I was doing anything and everything. I was the owner-operator. I was not a legit CEO. And I had a profitable business, but it was kind of stuck here. And once I went through this process of working on the business instead of in it on a day-to-day basis, it just skyrocketed. It changed everything. It changed the trajectory of my company. Because then, as the article said, I wasn't spending minutes on working on things, day-to-day tasks that could have been delegated. I was able to spend a lot more time on really big picture stuff where really my biggest impact could be made, where my time, where my value could really be implemented. You might also be saying, man, Grant, I've tried hiring some people. Maybe I do have a staff of people and I just don't trust them. Well, if you have a staff of people that you don't trust, here's a hard truth. That's a you problem. You hired them. And if you don't trust them, then let them go. Or, again, it's a you problem. And if you hired them and you're not giving them their trust is not something that's earned, trust is given. If you're not giving them trust, start to trust them. Look, when I gave my staff over to those day-to-day tasks, they weren't doing it as well as me. And that's okay. Because you know what? When I first started doing it, I didn't do it very good either. You have to have grace for people to learn to them, grow, set them up to grow, help them grow. You can't expect them to perform things at an optimal level from day one. But eventually they grow to a place where they're even better at it than you. At least that's what I got. The truth is you can only do so much. There's a glass ceiling for people who do not have a team. And you want to know something else? If your business is so dependent upon you doing things day to day, how are you ever supposed to spend time with your family? How are you ever supposed to go out of town? What happened to all that freedom that you were hoping for when you started the business? You need a team of people that you can trust so you can actually have a life. Guys, here's a story. Recently, I went out of town for several weeks, and while I was gone, my team broke records. They quite literally were performing at levels that I never thought that they could perform at. Our goal was to eventually get there, but I didn't think they were going to do it while I was gone or out of town. How many of you guys can't even go out of town because you don't trust your team to do those things? You've got to have a team that you can trust. You've got to be able to delegate things to them. Because getting out of the place where you're no longer working in your business every day, but working on your business will help your business grow and will give you back your life. All right, so here's your call to action. Get a stack of sticky notes this week, and every time you do something, write an email, make a phone call, no matter what you do, if you do any little or big or medium-sized business activity, write it down on a sticky note. Write down the thing that you're doing. Do it all week for a whole week long. It'll be annoying, but do it. Then you're going to have two sides of your desk. And on one side of the desk is all the things, all the sticky notes, all the tasks that you have to do absolutely. Then on the other side, all the sticky notes, all the tasks, all the things that you could or should be delegating to somebody else. This will help you define and help you better understand what you can be letting go of, what you should be letting go of, and what you could be delegating as you're doing it on a day-to-day, as you're doing it throughout this entire week. That's your call to action this week, is to figure that out. Give that exercise a try. Now, if you want to take that to the next level, do this. Start writing down on a different colored sticky note after the week is over all the things that you really want to do. All those desires that you have to grow your business, all the ideas that you think are awesome that you just don't have the time to do. And see if you could then add them to that side of the desk of your tasks and think about how that could make your company grow. Give it a shot. We'll see you guys next week.